Wholeness, wholeness, wholeness. Family, yes, this is about to get epic. And I mean, listen, like I just been going deep. I've been studying, man, and I want y'all to pay attention to this information here, man. Like this right here is a must get. Do not fade out. Do not drift. Do not anything. Don't pause the dial. Nothing. You stay tuned in and you stay grooving to this hot music because I'm trying to tell you. Now, listen to this. A lot of people get into the communication of, things like mind control and, the MK Ultra, the Mandela effects and stuff like this. And we just discuss it from more like a surface level, things that we probably heard somewhere else or somebody else discussing versus our own in-depth research or personal experiences that we've been able to relate to some of those things that we discover throughout others' experiences that are documented throughout history and just, like real-time experiences that others are dealing with to show you that, like what the correlations of them are. But what I wanted to go into is to show you that, oh my God, I want y'all to pay attention to this old movie. Now, this movie is not the only thing that I'm going to introduce to you. So I need you to be focused. I need you to be ready and willing, man. And just bear with me. It's going to take me a little time to get this through to you. But I promise this is going to be some of the hottest information that you have been dropped, that has literally been dropped into your lap, right? So now, first and foremost, I just want to begin with saying shout out to the tribe. You see what I mean? Love, all love, and secret energy. So listen, family, I'm finna play this video first because after I play this video, that's when I'm really finna get into some real information. Now I'm expecting a few technical difficulties, but I promise when I get into this information, it's gonna be well worth it, man. It's gonna be worth that wait because now we'll get a better understanding as to what is going on in our communities, not just inside of our community as a whole, but inside of individual communities as well. Like what is taking place amongst different classes of people and why? Who's manipulating the strings behind all of this? Like we just get off on social media and TV and things like this, and we just start blabbing about things that we really don't have a more in-depth level of knowledge to have a greater understanding about. So even when we start to discuss these things publicly, they don't really have that much substance inside of them because even the depth of information that's being presented is shallow. So here we go. Oh my God, let me go on and get into this, man, so I can get to where I gotta go. Hey, look, check this out, family. I want y'all to pay attention to this movie. It's an old movie called Videodrome. I don't know if anybody has actually ever heard of it. I'm pretty sure a few people from the tribe are gonna know what this is. Here we go.
ODD TV.
Videodrome is a movie from 1983 about a guy named Max Wren who runs Civic TV, a trashy television station specializing in violent material and softcore porn. Unsatisfied with his station's current lineup, Max is on the hunt for something that isn't so soft and will break through to a new audience. One day, Max is introduced to Videodrome by one of his employees named Harlan. Videodrome is a plotless television show being broadcast out of Pittsburgh, which depicts the brutal torture and eventual murder of anonymous victims in a bizarre reddish-orange chamber. Believing this to be the future of television, Max orders Harlan to begin pirating the show. Early on in the movie, we meet Professor Brian Oblivion when Max is on a talk show defending his programming choices for Civic TV. Let's watch a short clip.
Professor Oblivion, do you think erotic TV shows and violent TV shows lead to desensitization, to dehumanization?
The television screen has become the retina of the mind's eye.
Yes.
That's why I refuse to appear on television, except on television. Of course, Oblivion is not the name I was born with. That's my television name. Soon, all of us will have special names. Names designed to cause the cathode ray tube to resonate.
This character here, Brian Oblivion, is based on a real professor named Marshall McLuhan, who dedicated his career and his life to all things media. He was considered a media mogul and responsible for laying the groundwork for media theory with books like The Mechanical Bride, The Gutenberg Galaxy, Understanding Media, The Extensions of Man. The medium is the massage, an inventory of effects.
Hey, family, just real fast, I wanted to say to the guy who's actually commentating right now during this video that I'm playing, first and foremost, let me give him a shout out too, because this is another video that I actually found. I pulled up the video for this specific movie, and because this specific movie was more of a, somebody recorded it from maybe another recording device just sitting in their living room, and it's like clear, so it's like hard to, you know, be able to see or pick up on anything that was actually recorded on there. So when I found this specific video pertaining to it, it was good enough for me to actually use to show you what I was trying to show you. And because this guy did such a great job with his commentating, I just wanted to go ahead and keep it whole. So, you know, like it's not my intention to take credit for somebody else's work or, you know, try to dissect somebody else's work and piece it together like it's my own. No, like this is a neural network. You see what I mean? I'm not the only smart person out here, and I don't want to be known as the only smart person out here either. So I just want y'all to see this real fast. And I promise, I just wanted to get that guy a shout out to. And I will be uploading the clip to this video or the link to this video inside of my video description so that you can, you know, go ahead and rewatch this as many times as you want to.
Just to name a few. His whole ideology was that man and media do, in fact, merge, and that television becomes a part of your brain. In a sense, this guy was aware of the Matrix, and he was trying to tell people about it before anyone ever conceptualized what a Matrix could be. He doesn't say we live in a computer-generated world or anything like that, but he did know all of the implications of the technology of his time and what was to come. For instance, he also wrote a book in the 60s called The Global Village, which basically predicted the internet and a time when people are no longer social but dependent on electronic means to communicate instantaneously. And we know that Brian Oblivion is based on Marshall McLuhan because David Cronenberg admits it on the Videodrome commentary.
Of course, here we're introduced to Professor Brian Oblivion, who is based very much on Marshall McLuhan, the communications guru who became quite famous in the 60s and afterwards.
There are several old Marshall McLuhan interviews and lectures floating around on the web. I'll highlight a few clips for you just so you can hear some of his words for yourself.
The ordinary child of our culture is being educated, massaged by the TV form into a state of participation in all sorts of sensuous operations that the old visual culture carefully refrained from and kept distant from.
In the electric world, the simultaneity of information is acoustic in the form that it comes from all directions at once. You hear from all directions at once. Electric information comes from all directions at once. And when information comes from all directions simultaneously, you are living in an acoustic world. Television brings the outside inside and takes the inside outside. The TV image uses the eye as an ear.
With TV, the audience becomes the screen, not the camera. I'm concerned with effects of these forms on people, and they are involuntary insofar as they're unheeded. You can put your finger in a buzzsaw and wonder where it went because you can't see the saw. If you don't pay any attention to the nature of buzzsaw, you can lose many fingers without even knowing where they went. We do that with media all the time. We've done it with all media up till now.
So you see, it's not really hard to tell anyway.
The television screen has become the retina of the mind's eye.
With TV, the audience becomes the screen, not the camera.
We'll get back to Brian Oblivion, aka Marshall McLuhan. For now, let's continue. In the same scene, we have a connection with quote-unquote the woman in the red dress. That's the character Nikki Brand, played by Deborah Harry, the lead singer of Blondie. Like the woman in the red dress, she serves as a distraction.
But don't you feel such shows contribute to a social climate of violence and sexual malaise? And do you care?
Certainly I care. I care enough, in fact, to give my viewers a harmless outlet for their fantasies and their frustrations. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a socially positive act.
What about it, Nikki? Is it socially positive?
Well, I think we live in overstimulated times. We crave stimulation for its own sake. We gorge ourselves on it. We always want more, whether it's tactile, emotional, or sexual. And I think that's bad.
So why did you wear that dress? That dress. It's very stimulating.
I admit it. I live in a highly excited state of overstimulation.
Listen, I'd really like to take you out to dinner tonight.
Her and Max start hanging out together after Max asks her out on the show. And during a night of watching Videodrome with each other, Max finds out that she's a sadomasochist and that Videodrome puts her in the mood. The part that sticks out to me about this scene is when they are having sex. Max's apartment transforms into the Videodrome room, hinting that what you see on the television becomes a part of you and your reality. Max wants to know more about Videodrome and the people behind it, so he starts asking around. One of his contacts informs him that Brian Oblivion can help him find out more about Videodrome, after warning him that Videodrome is dangerous and should be avoided. Max tracks down Oblivion's office to the Cathode Ray mission, a mission where homeless individuals are provided food, shelter, and TVs. The interesting part about this is the name of the mission, Cathode Ray, from cathode ray tube, the main component for making older box-style television screens work. This is emblematic for TV being a religion. Max discovers that the mission is run by Brian Oblivion's daughter, Bianca, with the goal of helping to bring about her father's vision of a world in which television replaces every aspect of everyday life.
You think a few doses of TV are going to help them?
Watching TV will help patch them back into the world's mixing board.
Max lets Bianca know that he wants to speak with her father, and then he leaves. Later on, he receives a videotape from Professor Oblivion. Let's have a look.
The battle for the mind of North America will be fought in the video arena, the Videodrome. The television screen is the retina of the mind's eye. Therefore, the television screen is part of the physical structure of the brain. Therefore, whatever appears on the television screen emerges as raw experience for those who watch it. Therefore, television is reality, and reality is less than television. Max, I'm so glad.
Hey, hold on. I just want to make sure y'all get a great understanding, first and foremost, of who this man, exceptional dude is. They're talking about Marshall McLuhan. First and foremost, man, I'm going to upload a couple of his videos also inside of the description, man, because he, like, oh my God, he went deep. But it just gains a better understanding when he said that, man, what you are actually taking in through these video monitors will eventually become raw experience. You see what I mean? Now, a lot of people just listen to things and we hear stuff, but we hear it, even though we hear it, we only understand what we're hearing from the level of our understanding. Meaning that the more we start to learn and the more information we put behind what we currently know right now, then we start to have a more in-depth view or visual of what's behind everything. Because like every word that you actually use has more so like a fractal patterning, or you see what I'm saying? It's like there's so much information that's, you know, standing behind it. So yeah, I don't want to go too far into that. Like I said, man, and that's why I was going inside of my mind. I had already went into the left brain and started doing something. But listen, I want to go ahead and finish this real fast because I promise the other information I'm finna put in front of you is finna be even more shocking.
Glad you came to me. I've been through it all myself, you see. Your reality is already half video hallucination. If you're not careful, it will become total hallucination. I had a brain tumor, and I had visions. I believe the visions caused the tumor, and not the reverse. I could feel the visions coalesce and become flesh. Uncontrollable flesh. But when they removed the tumor, it was called Videodrome.
Let's pause it right there for a second. I want to point out that in real life, Marshall McLuhan had a tumor in his head. It was successfully removed, but Marshall was never the same. He ended up with hypersensitive hearing and large gaps in his memory. It was said that he had to reread many of the books that he had studied early on. Anyway, let's move on with this scene. Shortly after Oblivion addresses Max, Max begins hallucinating. Nikki Brand is on the screen, and Max is uncontrollably drawn to her. Back at the mission, Bianca tells Max that these are side effects from having viewed Videodrome, which is in fact a malicious broadcast signal that causes the viewer to develop a malignant brain tumor. Her father, Brian Oblivion, helped to create it as part of his vision for the future, but when he found out that it was to be used for malicious purposes, he attempted to stop his partners, which used his own invention to kill him. In the year before his death, Oblivion recorded tens of thousands of videos, which now form the basis of his television appearances. Bianca sends Max away with a handful of videotapes to watch. As he watches one tape, holding a pistol, he scratches his stomach, where an almost vagina-like slit opens, into which his gun disappears. On the tape, Oblivion says this:
There is nothing real outside our perception of reality, is there?
Max is contacted by Videodrome's producer, the Spectacular Optical Corporation, an eyeglasses company that acts as a front for a NATO weapons manufacturer. The head of Spectacular Optical, Barry Convex, has been working with Harlan to get Max to broadcast Videodrome as a part of a crypto government conspiracy to morally and ideologically purge North America, giving fatal brain tumors to lowlifes fixated on extreme sex and violence. What I want to point out here is the Spectacular Optical Corporation itself. There is an actual secret society called the Great Enlightened Society of Oculists. They focus on sight as a metaphor for knowledge, and we see their marks today in things like the logo for CBS, where everything you see is BS. Also hints of this secret society in movies like They Live, where special pairs of glasses help you see the truth. And also, the highly Illuminati-themed Disney cartoon Gravity Falls. The Gravity Falls Zodiac has a pair of glasses on it, and these glasses can be seen in the show in one of the rooms of the Mystery Shack. Anyway, Barry says that they chose Civic TV for the first transmission of Videodrome signal because of its sleazy content and audience.
Why would anybody watch a scum show like Videodrome?
Barry then produces a pulsating VHS tape and puts it in Max's stomach cavity, essentially programming Max to kill certain people. Max has become a human VCR that will play out the program. This is symbolic of the power that television has over its viewers. Max pulls the gun back out of his stomach opening, and the gun integrates itself with Max's hand. Max then goes and kills his partners at Civic TV. His next program is to kill Bianca Oblivion. He breaks into the mission, but hesitates when Bianca plays him Nikki's death scene on Videodrome. She was killed on the show, along with all those other people, by Spectacular Optical Corporation. A flesh gun then emerges from the TV set and shoots him. A violent deprogramming, if you will. Bianca then inserts her own tape into Max's opening. With that, she reprograms him to go after the ones responsible for creating Videodrome in its current form. She tells him he is the video word made flesh.
You've become the video word made flesh.
I am the video word made flesh.
Death to Videodrome. Long live the new flesh.
Death to Videodrome. Long live the new flesh.
Max then begins to follow his new orders, killing both Harlan and Barry. Afterwards, Max takes refuge and Nikki appears to him on another television screen. As Max sits on a filthy mattress, Nikki tells him that he has weakened Videodrome, but that in order to completely defeat it, he has to leave the old flesh. The television then shows an image of Max shooting himself in the head with his gun hand, which causes the TV set to explode human intestines and organs onto the floor. Imitating what he has just seen on TV, Max says his final words.
Long live the new flesh.
And then he pulls the trigger. While Videodrome is completely exaggerated science fiction, its overall message rings even truer today than it did in 1983 when it was first released. With the advent of new technologies such as the internet, mobile devices, and various social medias, we are today, more than ever, surrounded by the signals of a real-world Videodrome. Its images and message can now reach us in a variety of ways, following us anywhere we go. While not as in-your-face and extreme as the movie's version of Videodrome, today's mass media still tap into these two primal urges that are difficult for humans to ignore: sex and violence. This is what it's all about: materialism, superficiality, the over-sexualization of society, and the destruction of family values. The Videodrome signal that causes everything from hallucinations and brain tumors is the constant conditioning that is exerted by mass media to force the world to accept a specific worldview, which is just as fake as a hallucination. In the Illuminati's Videodrome, the masses are constantly exposed to the values that need to be accepted, the mindset that needs to be adopted, and the symbolism that needs to be embraced. From mega rituals disguised as current events to propaganda disguised as entertainment, TV viewers find themselves just like Max, with tapes inserted directly into them in order to program them to accept these things.
So there's something else I actually want to show you too, man. Like, this is epic, and like, if you really pay attention to it, then you will get to see the truth inside of how you see we create and fashion our reality, man. And I always say that perception is reality. So I just want to make sure that we got a good green light going here, man, because I have to bring this up for you. Let me make sure this is not in the way, because this is the last thing I need is for that to be in. Wait a minute. Bear with me, family. Here I come. Because this is actually epic here. Okay. Now, I'm hoping that you guys can see this. In fact, I'm not even gonna play with it. What I'm gonna do is close it out, reopen it again, because I need you to be able to see it to follow me. Gotta be able to see it to follow me. Gotta be able to see it to follow me. Okay. Can you see what this is? What this says right here? This is United States Patent 6,506,148 B2. Now, I don't know if a lot of y'all understand what a patent is. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all do. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend and play like I'm talking to a bunch of slow people. No, I understand that I'm talking to some geniuses here. So if it feels like my voice is fading out a little bit, man, I just had to stand up. Now here I go. I want you to pay attention to what this is actually about. Nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors. The inventor of this patent is Hendrikus G. Luce. Now, I don't know. Now, when I just read that, some of y'all caught on. I know a few of y'all didn't, and some of y'all still trying to connect some dots. Like, okay, so what? What that mean? Nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors. Oh man, this is just going to get epic. Let's go. So inside of the abstract is where it's described, it's explained what this is about. Physiological effects have been observed in human subject. I'm sorry, let me pull this up a little bit closer. I'm reading mine off of a different screen. I'm sorry. Physiological effects have been observed in a human subject in response to stimulation of the skin with weak electromagnetic fields that are pulsed with certain frequencies near ½ hertz or 2.4 hertz, such as to excite a sensory resonance. Now, excite a sensory resonance. Now, pay attention to the lingo. Many computer monitors and TV tubes, when displaying pulsed images, emit pulsed electromagnetic fields of sufficient amplitudes to cause such excitation. It is therefore possible, It is therefore possible to manipulate the nervous system of a subject by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer monitor or TV set. Now hold up now. We ain't just finna just speed on past this, because see, people might be like, well, man, that ain't nothing but a blog. Or no. See, this is not somebody's breakdown. This is not somebody's interpretation, right? This is the actual language of the inventor of this specific patent. So if you don't understand that this is not only the patent of this individual person, but he has 10 other patents that are just as crafty or meticulously put together as to be able to control, manipulate, modulate, and all of these different things. And I mean the entire central nervous system, the brain, as well as your physiological functions. So when you say, man, what are you trying to say? Yes. And some people are experiencing this. Now, you might not see it being done on a mass scale. And you may not see it being done, like major or broadcasted inside of, like a major news stations or anything like that. But it's a reason for that. But you better believe that having the technology, they're also being able to use this technology, and they're practicing and playing with this technology for good or for worse. Because whether you know it or not, any technology that you experience or see them being able to demonstrate or to present before you right here inside of this little reality, man, I promise you, it exists on a much more supra-molecular scale. And I mean, oh my God, man, it just lets you know. Now, I'm sorry, family, but we got to go. I'm going to just show you something. Now, it is therefore possible to manipulate the nervous system of a subject by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer, monitor, or TV set. For the latter, the image pulsing may be embedded in the program material. You hear this? Go back now. We ain't moving until we get an understanding, because this is real important. Like, this is so important. It's like just as important as the next breath. For the latter, the image pulsing may be embedded in the program material. Now, or it may be overlaid by modulating a video stream. Do you hear that? Or it may be overlaid by modulating a video stream. Now, the reason I'm making this so, I'm drilling this into you is because I promise I ain't even got started yet. Now, I guarantee you at the end of this, man, listen, oh man, who knows? Now, for the latter, the image pulsing may be embedded in the program material, or it may be overlaid by modulating a video stream, either as an RF signal or as a as a video signal. The image displayed on a computer monitor may be pulsed effectively by a simple computer program. Now, check this out. You know what an RF signal is? Let's get to moving. Let's get to moving. Because, see, it's a lot of people that know what all of this stuff is already, and it's a lot of people that don't know what this is already. But I'm going to say this. Some of these things, for my people that don't understand a lot of it, you're going to have to do some research for it, because I don't want to actually infringe upon the people that understand so much of this already and cause the whole show to move slow. Now, the image displayed on a computer monitor may be pulsed effectively by a simple computer program. A simple computer program. A simple computer program. That's software. And I'm going to show you something. This exact same dude even got a software program that you can order, upload it into your own computer, and use it and monitor the effects of the different frequencies, or the effects that are associated with the different frequencies, like, you know, the modulations. Like, man, hey, listen, he's not a joke with this, obviously, brother, because I even see something. He's got something else up in here, man. And it's about, I'm sorry, hold on. It's actually about US, I'm saying, this is another one, like another patent of his, right? Now, this is a US patent for subliminal acoustic manipulation of nervous systems. Now, the patent number to that is 6,017,302, issued on January 25th, 2000. Now, the patent that we actually paying attention to right here, this one was issued on January 14th, 2003. Now, I'm going to show you why it was so imperative that we switch from analog to digital. Because what we understand is digital frequencies or digital waves hold more information. They carry more information. They transport more data. Why do you need to transport more data? It's just not data being transported from one place to another. Like, what I'm saying is they're using all of these. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me back up. Because, see, I got to give y'all the science behind this before I start giving y'all all of my different, you know, consultations and breakdown. Y'all be like, oh my God, where he get this from? Hey, listen, I just got good memory. Now, let's go. Righty then. Okay, now I got to go down for a certain monitor. Okay, now the image displayed on the computer monitor may be pulsed effectively by a simple computer program. For certain monitors, pulsed electromagnetic fields capable of exciting sensory resonances in nearby subjects may be generated even as the displayed images are pulsed with subliminal intensity. Hey man, listen. I don't want to keep, because look, it's going to keep me too long on this. And I know the smart people like, well, then just keep going. But the slow people like, no, G, break it down. Hey, listen, I can't. Just come on. If you need some more information, we're going to break it down, baby. But listen, for certain monitors, pulsed electromagnetic fields capable of exciting sensory resonances in nearby subjects may be generated even as the displayed images are pulsed with subliminal intensity. Now check this out. You see the image here? He's showing you how each of these different components are interneted, right? That's interconnected, interneted, right? together inside of this neural network, which is an AI, artificial intelligence neural network. And I'm going to get into that just real briefly because I did a whole video on these different, you know, artificial neural networks, biological neural networks. You see what I'm saying? And all of that. So, but it just shows you that they're showing you how this actually affects the person that's, you know, sitting in front of the screen, because whatever it's actually emitting, and it's like, you know, this person is just oblivious to anything taking place. They're just doing their day-to-day work. You know, 9 out of 10, you can see that maybe this is like a etch-a-sketch. Remember that type of thing? Draw or layout image of, you know, like a real type of a scene where you would see somebody just sitting there inside of the office typing and, you know, la 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 la, just doing their thing, and boom, not even watching that this screen is already emitting images. Now, not just images, it's emitting electrical waves, electricity. But what are they doing? What are the radiations doing? Oh my God, this is what I want you to see. This shit is serious. And this, like, we would be a fool to not believe for 1 minute that all of these things are not typically taking place, right? Right here to us, right on. And I'm going to show you that too. Now listen to this. Let me show you. You see, they get it in. Everything is wired up. Everything is wired up, I promise you. But not just wired up, meaning that one thing makes the next thing work. What I mean is each one of these different things are literally wired up inside of us such a way that it will emit a frequency that literally stimulates, it calls an excitation, a stimulation of the central nervous system or the brain. And I'm finna show you, man, I promise. Let me go down here and show you something. Look at what dudes say, man. This is the guy that created this. Okay, listen. Now, the invention relates to the stimulation of the human nervous system by an electromagnetic field applied externally to the body. A neurological effect of external electric fields has been mentioned by Wiener, 1958, in a discussion of the bunching of brain waves through nonlinear interactions. Now, I don't know if y'all know who this guy Wiener is, but oh yeah, I'm going to show you who he is too. They call him the father of cybernetics. And if you don't know what cybernetics is, then yeah, we're going to get into something. Because see, cybernetics and bionics, they run hand in hand. You see what I mean? Like two sides of the same coin. And I'm going to show you something so people don't know what bionics is. And man, listen, hey, hey, look, cut them TVs off, man. Stop watching them them rap videos, and cut that sports stuff off for a while, man. Give yourself an opportunity to understand what's taking place and why these people keep continuously entertaining us with all of this frivolous shit. Now, let's go. Now, the electric field was arranged to provide a direct electrical driving of the brain. Now, I don't know if y'all understand what the word driving means, but see, somehow we might just start to disassociate that word because we're discussing brain waves and central nervous systems and, you know, things like that now. But no. That's what they're talking about. Driving your brain, controlling it, right? Now, listen, the electric field was arranged to provide, hold on, let me go back. A neurological effect of external electric fields has been mentioned by Wiener, 1958, in a discussion of the bunching of brain waves through nonlinear interactions. The electric field was arranged to provide a direct electrical driving of the brain. Wiener describes the field as set up by a 10 hertz alternating voltage of 400 volts applied in a room between ceiling and ground. Brennan, 1992, describes in U.S. patent number 5,169,380, an apparatus for alleviating disruptions in circadian rhythms of a mammal. Do y'all understand the types of stuff this is talking about? Like, we too busy and occupied with everything that doesn't mean anything, and that's the reason it's broadcasted so publicly on a continuous basis, because it has no definition of meaning at all. But meanwhile, these people are inside of labs creating all of these different things that are used and designed to manipulate and control not only the biological functions or the central nervous system or the brain, but to also control your physiological function, meaning they're controlling your physical effects, that you can just be done like lost control of limbs on your body, that these people have the ability to use signals that are emitted from your current electronics to control your functions. Like, and I'm gonna show you some other stuff, man. Like, I'm serious. It's like it gets deep. Now, righty now, what do you say? Now, Brennan, 1992, describes in U.S. patent number 5,169,380 an apparatus for alleviating disruptions in circadian rhythms of a mammal, in which an alternating electric field is applied across the head of the subject by 2 electrodes placed a short distance from the skin. Now, a device involving a field electrode as well as a contact electrode is a gram. I'm not going to read all of that. Hold on. Because he goes deeper into something else, and that's where I want to go to. Now, it is, and right here he says, it has been found that the resonance can be excited not only by externally applied pulsed electric fields, as discussed in U.S. patent number 5,782,874, 5,899,922, 6,081,744, and U.S. patent number 5,935. So listen, it's just naming some more patents where they, like they do this. This is what they do. What they're letting you know is business is booming, shit is big. You see what I'm saying? That there's a big business being launched on and off planet for the control, manipulation of, or the, let's say, the control and manipulation of biological functions and neurological systems. How about that? And they can take this shit to the bank, because I'm gonna show you it's serious. Now check this out. Let's go down. Let's go down. You say now, okay, but also by pulse-magnetic fields as described in U.S. patent. Okay, and again, now by weak heat pulses applied to the skin, as discussed in U.S. patent number. Okay, named a few more. There's a couple more. And just in case this ain't showing up, I promise I'm finna post. I'm gonna get it in here. I promise, because you have to see this too. Now, and by subliminal acoustic pulses are described, since the resonance is excited through sensory pathways, it is called a sensory resonance. In addition to the resonance near half hertz, a sensory resonance has been found near 2.4 hertz. The latter is characterized by the slowing of certain cortical processes, as discussed in 481, 922, 302, and he named some more. Now, the excitation of sensory resonance through weak heat pulses applied to the skin provides a clue about what is going on neurologically. Contaneous temporary, hold on, I'm sorry, family, because a lot of it you can read on your own when I upload it, but I want to just highlight the importance of why should you crack this open and get acquainted with it. Why is it important for you to actually create now your own time to research? Now, let's go. The excitation of sensory resonances through weak heat pulses applied to the skin provides a clue about what is going on neurologically. Cutaneous temperature sensing receptors are known to fire spontaneously. These nerves spike what do you say now? Somewhat randomly around. I'm sorry, hold on. Wait. Because now I done got lost. I'm reading off something that I don't think. These nerves spike somewhat randomly around an average rate that depends on skin temperature. Okay, so yeah, what I'm actually trying to go to is a little bit further down. I'm sorry, it's on page 4. But just a little bit more. Look, weak heat pulses delivered to the skin in periodic fashion will therefore cause a slight frequency modulation, FM, in the spike patterns generated by the nerves. Since stimulation through other sensory modalities results in similar physiological effects, it is believed the frequency modulation of spontaneous afferent neural spiking patterns occurs there as well. Now, wait a minute. 1 minute, fam. 1 minute, fam. Ignoring thermodynamics. Well, no, let me get down here. Because look, man, this dude ain't keeping this like no secret. Look, computer monitors and TV monitors can be made to emit weak, low frequency electromagnetic fields merely by pulsing the intensity of displayed images. Now, did you just hear that? Like, do I got to bag up? I'm bagging up anyway. Because you know what, man? Don't nobody keep this shit so real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody really understands the brevity of what's actually taking place because everything is getting watered down. Everybody trying to find some, you know, sugared up way to give it to us, some candy coated ass way to give it to us because everybody's scared that if they present this real information to you, then it just won't be accepted. But you know what? If it ain't accepted, it wasn't meant to be accepted. And I'm okay with that. But for the people that was meant to actually catch this message, oh yeah, this curveball is landing, baby. Here we go. Computer monitors and TV monitors can be made to emit weak, low-frequency electromagnetic fields merely by pulsing the intensity of displayed images. Experiments have shown that the half-hertz sensory resonance can be excited in this manner in a subject near the monitor. The 2.4 hertz sensory resonance can also be excited in this fashion. Hence, a TV monitor or computer monitor can be used to manipulate the nervous system of nearby people. Wait a minute, man. No. So this shows you, like, I ain't gonna go so deep as to break down why they went into using the like, you know, what was this electrical age about anyway? And because that's all too deep. Like, I still got stuff to present. Listen to him. Listen to this dude. He say, man, a TV monitor or computer monitor can be used to manipulate the nervous system of nearby people. The implementations of the invention are adapted to source a video stream that drives the monitor, be it a computer program, a TV broadcast, a videotape, or a digital video disc. For a computer monitor, the image pulses can be produced by a suitable computer program. The pulse frequency may be controlled through keyboard input so that the subject can tune in, or the subject can tune to an individual sensory resonance frequency. The pulse amplitude can be controlled as well as in this manner. A program written in Visual Basic R is particularly suitable for use on computers that run the Windows 95 R or Windows 98 R operating system. The structure of such a program is described. Production of periodic pulses requires an accurate timing procedure. Hey man, listen to me. What these people are saying is they have studied your biology. And in the event of studying your biology, they have discovered that you emit these electromagnetic frequencies, these waves, these pulses. Not only do you emit them, but you actually receive them. It's like you upload, download, right? You intake, outtake, right? In, up, out, down. So they understood this, but what they understood now was by using what they're using now is weaponry technology devices that are designed to not only just manipulate your DNA, right, but your RNA process as well, but to control your DNA, to control your physiology, to control your perceptual pretense of what reality is actually made of, because perception is reality, right? So now what I'm showing you is, now check this out. He goes to, he even warns them. He says certain monitors can emit electromagnetic field pulses that excite a sensory resonance in a nearby subject through image pulses that are so weak as to be subliminal. This is unfortunate since it opens a way for mischievous application of the invention, whereby people are exposed unknowingly to manipulation of their nervous systems for someone else's purposes. Stop it, man. So that might be not like, that might not be a lot for somebody else, because you know what, you got a lot of people that just don't understand the severity of this anyway, or a lot of people that don't understand why they're experiencing some of the illnesses that they're experiencing, or why some of the people around them are experiencing some of the illnesses that they're experiencing, or why we are seeing people act in some of the ways that we are seeing them act out inside of the reality. Like, I don't care who it is, man, from one of these lone wolf shooters to one of these terrorist attacks to your government, which is the biggest terrorist group on the planet right now, seriously. Like, they're leading in hostility. You see what I mean? But like, if we're not understanding, it's because we're all being literally affected unconsciously and unknowingly to these different frequencies or different elf waves that are being sprayed and channeled inside of our realities, inside of our communities. And they're being projected through our electronics. Everything is interconnected. Your car, your phone, your washer, your dryer, your microwave, your toaster, your blender, like your printer, like everything, anything, everything. Like, I even have the patent where they're showing you that these things can be used on credit cards, right? The little microchips on your credit cards to manipulate your frequencies from inside your wallet. Like, what I'm trying to explain is this is the severity of what we be saying when we say it's time to literally start creating. It's time to start building. It's time to start designing. It's time to at least start teaching our children to have a more opened range of thought. Stop allowing these perverted ass TV shows, and you see what I mean, all of this different stuff right here to manipulate and suppress the consciousness of not just our children, but us too. And learn to turn all of the electronics off. Learn to get out there in nature sometime. You see what I mean? Where you're not affected by all of these different elf waves being sprayed into the reality as if there's no respect for, the human life that is being sprayed around. So the one thing I want to show, and it's like, oh my God, it got to be shown much more. This man says such application would be unethical and is, of course, not advocated. It is mentioned here in order to alert the public to the possibility of covert abuse that may occur while being online or while watching TV, a video, or a DVD. Do you hear what this man's saying? I got to reread this for you just because people may not understand the severity of it still. He's saying this: certain monitors can emit electromagnetic field pulses that excite a sensory resonance in a nearby subject through image pulses that are so weak as to be subliminal. This is unfortunate since it opens a way for mischievous application of the invention, whereby people are exposed unknowingly to manipulation of their nervous system. Get that again. To where people are exposed unknowingly to manipulation of their nervous systems for someone else's purposes. Such application would be unethical and is, of course, not advocated. It is mentioned here in order to alert the public to the possibility of covert abuse that may occur while being online or while watching TV, a video, or DVD. So this man that actually created this patent and has created so many other patents prior to this and after this is warning the public of his inventions, because even though they have a use, right? They have this purpose that can be served. They also serve another purpose, right? So there's always more than one side to something, right? And it's like good, we want all the good in the world, not realizing that the more good we get, the more bad we get too, because everything is like, is paired. You see what I mean? It's like everything exists in duality below, the speed of light anyway, or below the speed of sound anyway. And if we don't understand that that's where duality actually exists, that the more you want of one thing, you're going to get the total opposite effect of it as well. It's just a matter of growing and developing into something a little bit more greater than you actually are right now, to where you will understand something. But I want to get a little bit further. Right now, check this out. This is dude here, right? The mysterious Hendrikus Luce. The words nervous system manipulation devices are enough to pique most anyone's attention. The applied concept of mind control, widely thought to be nothing more than science fiction. It's seemingly more and more realistic. So what they let you know is, man, listen, all of the stuff that you read on TV, you see on TV, man, you read this stuff up on these books and magazines, and you think that this stuff is just entertainment. No, it's not entertainment. They're selling it to you as entertainment on every level, scale, and arena, but they're also selling it to you in the form of medicine. They're selling it to you in the form of religion. They're selling you the same manipulative stories that are being like, oh man, it's just being all doctored up and presented to you in different forms and fashions, man, I promise. Now, one of the latest patented devices utilizes a television or computer monitor to send electromagnetic waves to the viewer, all right? The electrical charge accumulates on the skin and triggers the nervous system to behave in a controlled manner. Hey, listen, man. Do you understand what's going on inside of our communities, man, while we're sitting here on Facebook all damn day? Do you understand what's going on inside of our communities, man, while we're sitting here watching BET all damn day, while we can't push the damn screen back from MTV, and while everybody just want to be caught up inside of the same reality and dreams and this, that, and the other, where everybody want to be a rapper and shit? Can you understand why half of the people wake up and the first thing on their mind is the same damn thing that they actually experienced yesterday? It's like everything is more like a redundancy now because of the monotony of how we live and exist. So what I want to show you is, do you understand how they're controlling the reality without you actually being conscious that it's being done? And you think that all of this is just some type of a game being played, and then get to thinking that people are creating scares. Or no, what people are doing is trying to awaken you to something that's taking place inside of your reality before much more things take place inside of your reality at a time that you have no time to properly plan or prepare for it. So now, if you take charge of it right here, right now, come together with people that are just as adamantly focused on how to create and design a more personal or private, individualized reality for ourselves that we can experience, minus all of this governmental, right? Because that's all the word government means. You're governmental. And then we're going to also get into how this fictitious government invaded our space and invaded our reality inside of our plane anyway. They're not even real. They're not even supposed to be here. They're just a group of bankers that somehow now started to force everybody up under corporate law, right? Statutory laws, which are just rules. And you go along with all of this shit because you don't even know how it exists, because you don't even know that this is what they're doing. They're forcing you up under their jurisdiction just by talking to you in a certain manner that forces you to accept responsibility, or to, you see what I mean, accept liability for something. But I'm not even finna just drive so far off into that, man. We're gonna get deep into that, and I urge and encourage anybody that, man, if you're looking to get your freedom, if you're looking to get your mind back, if you're looking to actually, get you and your family out of this tight grip that we call the matrix, which is a matrix, you see what I mean? Then, man, link up. I am Jack Christ at gmail.com. You can reach me on Facebook at Dynamo Jack. Now, check me out. One of the latest patented devices utilizes a television or computer monitor to set electromagnetic waves to the viewer. The electrical charge accumulates on the skin and triggers the nervous system to behave in a controlled manner. The device is thought to potentially impact the endocrine system as well, granting access to hormones and brain function, as well as the ability to control other body systems. See, I ain't just going to be one of them people to come up here and get to yelling shit at you and don't know. No, I got the bibliography behind this shit, baby. Now, the patent holder, Hendrikus G. Luce, also holds many other patents for similar devices. Oh, yeah, he do too. Sound like one of them old ladies, huh? Yes, he do, baby. Since 1978, Dr. Luce has been issued patents for 11 devices, largely of which are aimed at nervous system manipulation. Hey, listen, man. There is only one way to understand or perceive manipulation, better known the terminology of nervous system manipulation. You can take this as deep as you want to, but you have to understand what it is. Nervous system manipulation. Now, among the patents, you'll find items such as subliminal acoustic manipulation of nervous systems. Okay, so y'all don't know what that is? Subliminal acoustic manipulation of nervous systems. I actually was just presenting that to y'all a minute ago. Now, we're going to break that one down too. I don't want to cram too much in, so just let's keep it moving, but we ain't going nowhere. If you got questions, upload them. Throw them out. Let's go. Help me get this on. Now, among the patents, okay, you see now, subliminal acoustic manipulation of nervous systems, remote magnetic manipulation of nervous systems, right? Remote magnetic manipulation of nervous systems, method and apparatus for associative memory, and method and apparatus for manipulating nervous systems. Any other patents seem to be related to delivery technology of these nervous systems manipulation devices. Now, if you're not scared or intimidated just yet, we're not done. Now check this out. I want you to understand how these people actually even know how to send frequencies, right? From your electronics to catch on to frequencies emitted from your brain and create a feedback loop that literally is connected to an artificial intelligence computational device that will communicate back and forth, upload through imaging process. And then, I mean, like, hey, listen, it will go through all of this with your original bioneurology. Like I promise you, watch this. Now, the man behind the patents has quite a history of his own. Prior to his work with nervous system manipulation, Dr. Luce worked with other companies. In the late 1950s, his work with Plasmadyne Corporation yielded a patent for an apparatus and method for generating and containing plasma having ultra high temperatures. Now, a few years later, he worked with Douglas Aircraft's Advanced Research Department studying electromagnetic fields utilizing the Yang-Mills theory. He continued his research publishing yet another article about Yang-Mills fields in 1969 in the American Physical Society Journal. Now, in the 1980s, it seems he set up shop in his Fallbrook, California home and developed Laguna Research Laboratory, working on government projects with the likes of the Department of Defense, the Department of Health and Human Services, and the Department of Advanced Research Projects Agency, commonly known as DARPA, right? Now, I don't know if y'all know who DARPA is. If you can look into this right now, DARPA currently has this, what is it called? This 2045 space project, a space program project, where literally not only has DARPA uploaded the consciousness of a soldier, a real soldier, into a robot, right? So specifically, they have taken the consciousness of a real human being. Now, this human being is not physically alive inside of this three-dimensional reality anymore, but he is consciously alive inside of this robot and literally can experience reality consciously only so far as the physical limitations of sensory stimulation is pertaining to this shell that it's actually in. Now, if you think that's a joke, look up Russian 2045, where they have literally uploaded the brain, or should I say the mind, of a monkey into a computer screen. And this monkey is inside of the computer screen, living, eating bananas, like it's functioning as if it's still alive, so representing that there is no such thing as death. And me being the type of person that has already been beyond those states and spaces of thermodynamics called life and death, know that death is not real. Your consciousness is just as alive and as aware and awake when your body can no longer function here as it is anywhere else and on any other physical dimension or plane. Now, let's go. I want to get into here real fast. Let's go to cybernetics. Cybernetics, right? Control theory, as it is applied to complex systems. Cybernetics is associated with models in which a monitor compares what is happening to a system at various sampling times with some standard of what should be happening, and a controller adjusts the system's behavior accordingly. Hey, listen, man, it'd be so much inside of one simple paragraph. You hear that? It says that the control theory as it is applied to complex systems. Cybernetics is associated with models in which a monitor compares what is happening to a system at various sampling times with some standard of what should be happening, and the controller adjusts the system or the system's behavior accordingly. The controller adjusts the system's behavior accordingly. Think it's got something to do with those frequencies they sending? Probably. Now, the term cybernetics comes from the ancient Greek word kybernetikos, good at steering, referring to the art of helmsman. In the first half of the 19th century, the French physicist André-Marie Ampère, in the classification of the sciences, suggested that the still non-existent science of the control of governments be called cybernetics. You hear that? In his classification of the sciences, suggested that the still non-existent science of the control of governments be called cybernetics. The term was soon forgotten, however, and it was not used again until the American mathematician Norbert Wiener published his book Cybernetics in 1948. In the book, Wiener made reference to an 1868 article by the British physicist James Clerk Maxwell on governors, and pointed out that the term governor is derived via Latin from the same Greek word that gives rise to cybernetics. The date of Wiener's publication is generally accepted as marking the birth of cybernetics as an independent science. Now, Wiener defined cybernetics as the science of control and communications in the animal and machine. The definition relates cybernetics closely with the theory of automatic control, and also with physiology, particularly the physiology of the nervous system. Now let's go. Wiener defined cybernetics as the science of control and communications in the animal and machine. This definition relates cybernetics closely with the theory of automatic control and also with physiological, particularly the physiology of the nervous system. For instance, a controller might be the human brain, which might receive signals from a monitor, the eyes, regarding the distance between a reaching hand and an object to be picked up. The information sent by the monitor to the controller is called feedback. And on the basis of this feedback, the controller might issue instructions to bring the observed behavior, the reach of the hand closer to the desired behavior, the picking up of the object. Indeed, some of the earliest work done in cybernetics was the study of control rules by which human actions take place, with the goal of constructing artificial limbs that could be tied in with the brain. So what they had to actually be able to do in order to create these limbs where, they can be tied into the, neurology of, the people that they're putting them on and giving them to, is learn how to control or manipulate the control of the bioneurology, therefore being able to control the physiology, right? So now, this goes deep, man. I'm just showing y'all some stuff. I want to go down here real quick. Bionics, right? Now, bionics, let me, I don't know, I got a hell of a screen going on here. Let me shrink this up. Because I want to be able to give it to you. Now, bionics is I gotta wait a minute. There we go. All right. Now, see, hey, look, family, hold on one second. I'm not too computer technologically advanced, so I gotta figure out how to break it down, man. Wait. All right. I just want to give you this. You know what? Don't worry about it, man. Y'all just gotta follow me, okay? We ain't even gonna sit here and play with it, because right when you try to go into fixing stuff, that's when stuff messes up. So check this out. Bionics. What is bionics? Bionics, science of constructing artificial systems that have some of the characteristics of living systems. Bionics is not a specialized science, but an inter-science discipline. It may be compared with cybernetics. Bionics and cybernetics have been called the two sides of the same coin. Both use models of living systems. Bionics, in order to find new ideas for useful artificial machines and systems, cybernetics to seek the explanation of living beings' behaviors. Bionics is thus distinct from bioengineering or biotechnology, which is the use of living things to perform certain industrial tasks, such as the culture of yeast and petroleum to furnish food proteins. The use of microorganisms capable of concentrating metals from low-grade ores, and the digesting of waste by bacteria in biochemical batteries to supply electrical energy. Hey man, just inside, oh my God. Hey, look, man, I'm excited when I get this information. But listen, I just wanted to show you what bionics is, man, and introduce you to it. So just check me out. Let's go up into this real fast. Now, a lot of y'all don't know what these sonic weapons is. I'm just showing you what these people are able to actually do with this electricity. We're using these waves, and this is what they use, and this is why you go everywhere, man, and you start seeing now they got these towers up every damn where. They're everywhere. So don't you believe that this is not affecting you. Just check this out, because I'm finna go into something else. Now, sonic and ultrasonic weapons are weapons of various types that use sound to injure, incapacitate, or kill an opponent, right? They use sound waves to injure, incapacitate, or kill an opponent. Some sonic weapons are currently in limited use or in research and development by military and police forces. Some of these weapons have been described as sonic bullets, sonic grenades, sonic mines, or sonic cannons. Some make a focused beam of sound or ultrasound. Some make an area field of sound. Listen to me, man. Do y'all understand the stuff that these people are working with? And we still sitting out here trying to figure out what the hell is going on with the planet. They showing you that there's a caste system. And at the top of this caste system, it's being manipulated and controlled by a few, meaning like a handful, that have created this artificial currency and banking system. So now they run the current, which is the energy of the currency, or the current, which is the energy of these nations. You see what I'm saying? They own it all. And they have set up, oh my God, I don't want to get too far into it, but family, we finna listen at this though. Now, extremely high power sound waves can disrupt or destroy the eardrums of a target and cause severe pain or disorientation. This is usually sufficient to incapacitate a person. Less powerful sound waves can cause humans to experience nausea or discomfort. The use of these frequencies to incapacitate persons has occurred both in anti-citizen special operation and crowd control settings. The possibility of a device that produces frequency that causes vibration of the eyeballs and therefore distortion of vision was suggested by paranormal researcher Vic Tandy in the 1990s while attempting to demystify a haunting in his laboratory in Coventry. Now, this spook was characterized by a feeling of unease and vague glimpse of a gray apparition. Some detective work implicated a newly installed extractor fan that Tandy felt was generating infrasound of 18.9 hertz, 0.3 hertz, and 9 hertz, right? A long-range acoustic device has been used by the crew of the cruise ship Seaborne Spirit to deter pirates who chased and attacked the ship. More commonly, this device and others of similar design have been used to disperse protesters and rioters in crowd control efforts. A similar system is called a magnetic acoustic device, the mosquito. Mobile sonic devices have been used in the United Kingdom to deter teenagers from lingering around shops and target areas. The device works by emitting an ultra-high frequency blast around 19 through 20 kilohertz. Now pay attention to this. What these people doing to y'all kids and y'all teenagers while y'all sending them to these stores. Now, the device works by emitting an ultra-high frequency blast around 19 to 20 kilohertz that teenagers or people under approximately 20 are susceptible to and find uncomfortable, right? Age-related hearing loss apparently prevents the ultra-high-pitched sound from causing a nuisance to those in their late 20s and above. Though this is wholly dependent on a young person's past exposure to high sound pressure levels, high amplitude sound of a specific pattern at a frequency close to the sensitivity peak of human hearing, 2 through 3 kilohertz, is used as a burglar deterrent. Now check this out, man. I'm finna show you something. Because whether you know it or not, man, like, this ain't to cause, you know, hold on, let me just get through this. Let me get through this. Some police forces have used sound cannons against protesters, for example. During the 2009 G20 Pittsburgh Summit, the 2014 Ferguson unrest, you see that, man? During the 2014 Ferguson unrest, and y'all know what that Ferguson unrest was about. Come on, family. Come on, people, listen to me. These people ain't playing fair, but they playing so unfair that it's impossible for you to even have a fighting chance because you don't even know the type of technology involved in the fight that you involved in. Now listen to me, man. These people also use this sonic weapon during the Dakota Access Pipeline protest in North Dakota. They use this on them people, man. Also, they can go up in there and tell them, oh my God, bro. Y'all don't know. Hey, listen, for some of y'all that understand, man, the sensitivity to this, the severity to of this, then man, you understand. But for some of y'all that don't, then man, Joe, I urge you and I encourage you to actually, man, listen, wake up. Because right now you living in Wonderland. You living in that, like you living in a straight illusion. And while you consciously are locked inside of and trapped inside of this illusion, there's so much more taking place that you haven't even been introduced to yet. Like, for instance, when I explained to you guys about what brain mapping was about, right? Now, what we don't understand is, let me give it to you like this. Now, brain mapping is further defined as the study of the anatomy and function of the brain and spinal cord through the use of imaging, right? Imaging. Now, this also includes neurological imaging, which image the neurological structure, function, and impacts of pharmacology or toxins upon the nervous system. I'm giving that to you raw in a breakdown so that you will understand what I'm trying to say to you, man. Now, functional structures, function and impacts of pharmacology or toxins upon the nervous system. Now, functional imaging of the neurological system and brain allow the processing of information in the brain to be visualized directly in images and mapped. Now, brain mapping can be read and analyzed directly by computerized systems and extraterrestrial or military personnel that can directly see what areas of the brain are being activated and which areas light up on the scan. To read brain maps and neurological imaging allows the data to be loaded into computer for analysis, or for any entity to actually have access to another person's thoughts or thought identification or mind reading. This can happen in real time, in a moment, and instantaneously if the program has accessed the person's brain and neurological system, right? So now let me show you something. I was studying something, man, and this just goes to show you how serious this is, right? I don't know if y'all too familiar with what this nanotechnology is, right? Now, nanotechnology, first and foremost, right, is the manipulation of matter on an atomic, molecular, and super molecular scale, right? So nanotechnology has many applications, been tested covertly and used to control the human population in its psychotronic warfare mind control methods, and also to track down people that, you know, see what they're thinking. Now, I want to get into this. Now, they have this thing, what they're doing, that is called synthetic telepathy. Now, when I say this now, remember, listen to me. Synthetic telepathy is used to describe the process of brain-computer interfaces by which human thoughts are intercepted, processed, and a return signal is generated that is able to be communicated and perceived by the human brain, and that information can potentially be read through other interfaces. You got to come on with me, man. An example of multiple interfaces that can interact with synthetic telepathy and nanotechnology would be the network of physical devices that are included in the Internet of Things, right? Other items embedded with electronics, software, sensors, actuators, and connectivity, which enables these things to connect, collect, and exchange data. First and foremost, man, come on, man. What I'm saying is, man, this shit is so serious, family, that these people have things right now, man, where they can literally communicate directly, word to consciousness, directly into your brain. Do you hear me? Like, they can literally speak directly into your brain. This is no lie, man. And I'm finna, like, hold on. Give me 1 second so I can. You know what? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even want to put too much more inside of here. I gave y'all enough to actually run off of for right now, man. You see what I'm saying? But what I did want to show you that's real important for me right now. I want to show y'all something. So you don't think that this shit's a joke? CIA tells Columbia Princeton of secret behavior research, right? The Central Intelligence Agency has formed Columbia and Princeton universities, that they are among 86 institutions where secret research is believed to have been conducted in an attempt by the agency to develop ways to manipulate the behavior of human beings. Hey, listen, man, we ain't finna go no further. I'm finna let that sit there for a second because I'm finna say something. Now check me out. We all know that if we look back on everything that we actually been going through, if we look back over everything that these people show us on TV, everything that they push down our throats, all of our personal experiences growing up as children, man, we can find a resonance of all our experiences inside of some TV program or inside of somebody else that has literally used one of their fears or some of their fears as a collective or a collection to bleed into our own reality, right? Creating inside of us exactly what they were building or creating inside of themselves, be it good or bad, conscious or unconscious. But the one thing I want to say is, the one thing I want to show you is, and this is why it's very imperative that we understand, family, to step back and stop judging each other, stop ridiculing each other, stop sidelining with these people so fast, stop being so quick and so adamant to jump on the bandwagon of somebody else's publicity stunt and attack somebody else's character, nature, or name. Black people, I'm encouraging y'all to do it so much more than everybody else. Because for the most part, it's us that's being assassinated, man, integrally, and I mean on every scale. They have taken all of our martyrs, all of our, like, I mean, not our martyrs, all of our idols, all of our archons, our icons, just anything that you can imagine us being able to take and use as an idolized form of perception to, pattern ourselves behind. They have taken it and stigmatized it before its expiration. They have turned everything and created it into some type of evil thing, all of our stars, and we jump straight on the bandwagons, man. But we still be believing some of this shit. We don't understand the degree of technology that's actually being used to control, manipulate, or modify the behavior of so many different people. For instance, if you don't study the story about Michael Jackson's doctor, man, when he came back into that room, he looked at that bed, he said, man, listen, he said, it was Michael at the edge of the bed, but it wasn't Michael. He said, Michael never ever laid at the edge of the bed before, so this is the reason that I didn't understand what was going on. He said, when I left that room, Michael was laying the same way that he'd been laying all the years that I've been catering for him or caring for him. But I just want to show you that just because these people create these fabricated ass stories and they put them over social media and they put them on the media, it don't mean buy into them. Some people literally are vibrating below the speed of, they're put it like this. Some of us already are just looking for negative information to buy and bite into because it gives us something to ride. It gives us a wave to ride. But we don't understand that this is what these people are teaching us through these subliminal messages and all of this shit that they're teaching us and all of this shit that they're passing off to us in a form of entertainment. They're using it to program us into creating unconsciously a prison of a reality where we have no control. But because we are so divided amongst each other, and it's all because of other subliminal messages. And I'm showing you how these people have the ability to not only hack into your consciousness, your brain and central nervous system, but they have the ability to manipulate your physiology, but to also implant thoughts directly from their mouth, meaning speak directly into your consciousness. Family, this is not a joke. This is not somebody coming to y'all trying to create some type of a scare tactic. No, I love my people. I'm coming to you right now trying to show you the imperativeness and the severity behind how serious it is for us to come together right now, man, and start paying more attention to what has more control over us than us. Some of us are 40 and 50 years old, man, and the first thing we do is wake up and log on to Facebook or Twitter or something like that. Just think, man, we mad at the world because we ain't got nothing else going on, man, and we hate on everything that everybody else got going on because life for us just ain't turning out to be what we want it to be. But we can change it. We can change it right now, family, if we all just come together, man. If we literally just stop looking at somebody that's speaking real shit as being some type of a sellout or a preacher or some bullshit, man, and just realizing that, man, here go a brother that done wisened up and got smart and realized that, hey, listen, that matrix that they got us locked inside of, and it's called the street or this real nigga shit or this what's real or what ain't, hey, listen, fuck all of that. Abandon ship, abort ship. But listen, it don't mean just go sour. What it means is we have to go back to the old customs and traditions of the brothers and sisters that came before us. When they had these customs, meaning these laws and policies in play that brought the communities together. And it don't mean that we use these customs or policies or laws that these brothers and sisters put in play to divide us. No, man, we use all of these teachings now to bring us together, to knock down walls between gangsters and vice lords and Blackstones, man. We got to knock down walls between all of that because in reality, we are all one race of people. And we got to knock down racism walls because we are all simply one race of people that are being divided inside of our consciousness through educational programs, religious programs, and different other stereotypical programs that these people are programming into our minds. We better than this, family. We stronger than this and we greater than this. And I promise, man, like there is no more time for us to waste. Many of us are on this path right now from the future to come back into this space and time because some things are taking place on this timeline that if many of us don't get straight, rebalance, and tweak and twerk right here, right now, there won't be an access or ascension point into 5D for so many other of us. I don't want to go too far into it, fam, but I do just want to call for all my brothers and my sisters, man. And listen, man, we have to understand that these people literally, they know our DNA and our genetics, man. They know how to send frequencies and signals into the communities that can attack and target specific genetics. That can, listen to me, they know how to control your thoughts with a computer program. Real life shit, your subconscious mind is hooked up to an artificial intelligence program, which is literally designed to mimic the functioning, the biological functions of a biological neural network. Because this is how they're controlling the reality. And to my black brother and my black sister, come on. We ain't enemies, man. And to my white brothers and my Mexican sisters and my Mexican brothers, and hey, listen, man, ain't nobody on the planet older than nobody. Ain't no Kemet older than, hey, listen, brother, let's get this shit real. There are land, this whole planet was doing good at one time. It wasn't just Africa. What you see going on, that good shit that black folks are prizing and priding and highlighting in Africa, it existed in Greece. It existed in America. It existed everywhere. Brother, the planet functioned on an open source grid, man. But these people got us divided, fighting black power, white power, purple power, pink power. Sound like a goddamn morphin' Power Ranger. What the fuck? Get rid of this shit, man. We ain't got no power. The power is inside of the people that know how to manipulate not only your current, externally, but internally your currency. These people know how to manipulate and modify your thoughts. They know how to erase and upload your thoughts. Have you ever just been sitting there doing something and you just got real drowsy and tired? And listen to me, I'm calling for y'all, man. This video wasn't meant for that, but man, I pray that it lands on the greatest hands, man, because I'm calling for y'all, man. I'm from here. I'm from there. I'm from everywhere. But I'm calling on everybody. I'm calling on the doctors. I'm calling on the lawyers. I'm calling on the brothers and the sisters at the bottom of the pot and the top of the pot. To everybody, let's just abandon our egos for a minute. Let's place our egos to the side. Right? Now, some people are filled with more hate than others, and that's okay. We'll get to you later. For right now, man, for the people you're capable. Let's put our egos to the side. Like, let's be men. I don't know what your definition of a man is, but man, Joe, this what I'm talking about is being a man. Women, let's be women. Right? We don't need no more bad bitches, man. We got enough of them. We need some more queens. Right? The bad bitches, y'all had your turn. We need queens. We need kings. We need like real thinkers, because we're moving into a new age, man. And we need to learn to be able to work together and come together, or this set of control is going to get worse. These people are monopolizing us to, oh my God, family, all I'm asking for, let's just come together, man. Let's abandon our egos and let's start to see how much more that we have in common with each other when we take those walls down. Like, you know, sometimes we look at people as though they're beneath us because we have reached a certain status or level inside of the reality. But when we take that status away, or somebody else even on that status busts that bubble, it's like we realize that kid inside of us again still exists. So, man, all I'm saying is, man, what if we just humble ourselves with what we got and where we are right now inside of the reality? And we learn to come together like brothers and sisters. And we unite and bond. We stop hating on each other over the information and stop feeling like, you know, we can't show each other love and respect because I'm mad you said it and I didn't. You said it better than I did. You said it first and I didn't. Like, come on, man, we got to stop this. You see what I mean? Like, We don't even want to support each other no more because we think that whatever the level of consciousness, whatever that's supposed to mean, quote unquote, I guess, whatever this level of consciousness that we feel that we vibrating on, or whatever level of consciousness we feel we have is the level of consciousness that actually curtails or embodies what the definition of consciousness is, or is one of the, you know, like the pressure points of it or the impression points of it along that road, when in reality it's not. It's just your level of consciousness. And nobody is actually going to have the same exact experiences or the type of interactions or impacts with this Kundalini experience. So stop telling people if they're doing something wrong or right. You do it your way. But when you know for a guaranteed fact that all you're doing is the same thing to the people that you're warning the people against, you're not doing it right. I love y'all. And with that being said, family, it is a must that we get together and finish what we're doing. Thank you.